Hello and welcome to day 3, lesson 1 for our Celebrate You series. And today we're going to talk about power of attraction and getting ready to help ourselves to understand the importance of what we put out there comes back to us. And sometimes we're not even aware of how much we put out there. And then we wonder, gosh, why is it that all these bad things always seem to happen to me? And the truth is that sometimes we offer of ourselves negativity in ways we weren't even appreciating or understanding or even recognizing. And then we wonder, why does negativity always seem to come to me or follow me? So it's really not a new pitch to say that, the power of attraction. We've heard about it in a lot of different places and a lot of different books and readings. And one of the things I just want to comment on is that there's it's not hocus pocus stuff that we're talking about. It's really about how do we put into practice creating a sense of who we are, whether it's with positivity, whether it's with kindness, whether it's with gratitude, or if it is negativity. When we give of ourselves, how do we present ourselves? Is it in a way that says, all right, fine, I'll do it? Or is it in a way that, okay, you know what, let's just give this a try. Let's just see what happens. And I think that it's a different take on that power of attraction, where if you just put it out there, it happens. Because I'm here to tell you, I have not seen that happen. I have seen people have to work really hard. I have seen people have to make some changes. And I have seen people have to have a really good understanding of what it is and who it is that they want to be exhibiting and portraying to other people. So back to the old adage of just because I say it so will make it so, doesn't happen. And I think there's a lot of value to, yes, putting it out into the universe. Yes, letting as many people know as you can what are your hopes and your dreams and your desires, as we talked about last session. But I think it's also important to remember to do the work, to make sure that you're willing to commit to whatever it is that you're hoping to have manifest within your life. So if you're feeling like you need more positivity, are you willing to project that positivity? Are you willing to do the work it takes to get other people to sense from you, to gather from you, to hear from you, and to see from you how it is that you are giving of you? And you're, whether it's in words or whether it's in the way that you present yourself, as I said, or the way you talk to people, the tone that you use, all those things are so important when we look at the power of attraction. The other thing to think about is that when we put out there how it is that we want to be portrayed, we create that energy around us for ourselves and for other people. And it happens all the time. I have noticed that if I am with somebody who is very upset and they're coming across as really bold and forceful, and if I match that with a force of understanding, of caring, and my tone is quiet and calm, I notice that I can actually create the reaction from the other person to sort of calm down. We de escalate it by the way that we come after it. So practice that sometimes. And sometimes it's all about, I just need to validate for people that I've heard them, that I understand, and that I hear what they have to say. Sometimes people just need to know that. Don't we just need to know that? Sometimes in my moments of despair, all I want to hear is, I get it, Kim. I understand, Kim. And I can move on then. But sometimes when I feel like I have to keep proving my point over and over, I start to lose sight of what it is I'm really looking for. And the person trying to help doesn't really know what it is I'm looking for either. The other thing is that when we start to talk about those things that really bring us to a place of excitement, a place of, I really hope that I can, and then you fill in the blank there. What is it that you're hoping? We did discovering dreams, and what is that dream that you have that you want to create and see from start to finish? When you start talking about those things, you really do exude this wonderfulness that other people can pick up on. I think one of the things that happens is that we're so uncomfortable to share what our hopes and dreams are with others because we don't think maybe they think it's a good thing to have, or it's worthwhile, or it's going to take too long, or oh yeah, that's just Kim talking about her hopes and dreams again. But the truth is, haven't you noticed just the excitement and the beauty that you see in people when they get excited about the topic that they want to bring up, whether it's, I hope to start a coffee shop and I want to have books around, and whatever it is that a person's describing. Amy Poehler says it really well, and I'm going to read it. It says, people are their most beautiful when they talk about something they love. And I have found that to be very true. Many of you that are listening are grandparents. I'm just going to tell you, when you talk about your grandkids, you're at your most beautiful. I have heard and seen so many women just gush about their grandchildren. And when they do, there's a little twinkle in your eye, and you can see that your eyes are lighting up and that your face feels good and bright and happy. It just exudes from you. So that same passion, that same energy, if you put it into the rest of how you handle things coming your way, I promise you will start to attract the energy that it is that you are that you are most desiring. The other thing is that as we go through these journeys, as we go through life, we do deserve to be happy. That's another thing. Some of us don't know that we deserve that we absolutely deserve to have the most happiest happy ever. That whatever we're experiencing, we don't have to feel bad. We get to decide, gosh, this isn't working for me, so I'm going to bow out, or this conversation isn't going anywhere for me, so I'm going to end it. I hear what you have to say, and it's just not, I'm not feeling what I need to feel maybe for you right now, so I'm going to get back to you, or whatever it is that you want to say to the person. Remember our effective defined communication skills. Saying what we mean and meaning what we say is so important in the power of attraction, because what we put out there, again, remember, it does come back. It may not come back always in the form that we think of, like millions of dollars, or the best job in the world, but energy does beget energy. I do believe in that. I really do think that's important for us to remember. The other thing is, if you're asking, the question, well, what about me? Everybody else seems to get what they want. Everybody else seems to be doing better than I am. That's starting from a deficit point of view. I would encourage you to start talking from a fulfillment point of view. You know what? Look at all that I have. Look at all that is around me and the blessings that are bestowed on me. Look at what I have that I didn't always appreciate, and now I'm taking the time to do that. Once you start to appreciate what's happening in your life and you give thanks for it, and we're going to talk about that in our gratitude lesson, you can just sense that you will start to realize just how many more things you have in your life that you can be grateful for and that you can give thanks for. And it just sort of snowballs. And I promise you that's what happens. When you stop saying, why not me? And start looking at, wow, look at me and all that I have, it changes the way that you start to view things and the way that you start to express yourself. The other thing is, do you seek out other like-minded and like-feeling people? Let me give you an example. I always call it the water cooler energy. When you go to the water break, or when we used to have water coolers when you used to, days gone by, right? That's where you had your breaks. So it's an homage to us coming around the water coolers. But if you seek out other people and to gather wherever it is, and all you do is talk about negativity, and break down other people, or break down their comments, or break down, the silliness as you think of it in what they said, or, oh my gosh, that's Kim again. If you give that energy, you are going to bring other people of like-mindedness and feelings into your life. You just find each other, the energy just sort of finds each other. And when you ask the question, why does negativity seem to be around me? Why is this happening to me? The answer is because you're creating it. Now, I'm not speaking of things that happen to you and are out of your control. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're putting it out there that you're negative, you're going to find that other people who are negative are going to start coming around. There's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. And if you need to start making some changes, you might want to start with just how you talk, what you say, what energy do you bring to the water cooler? Is it positive or is it negative? And I would offer that in this day of, such quick access in our social media places, that it's so easy to hop on board something and give a negative reaction, isn't it? And, to go along with what you think the energy is or the format is for whatever comment was being made. And I would say that if you took a minute to step back and stop and just think and reflect, is this really what I want to get on board with? That you would probably answer no. That what value does it bring to yourself if you're contributing in a negative way? What value, what purpose does it serve to speak of things in negative ways? Now, there are those safe people that I have in my life that I can talk honestly and in depth with, and sometimes just spout off to and with about things that really upset me. And I need those people. We all need those people, but I don't need that to be all people, because I don't want that to be the energy I bring. I want you to see me as somebody who's going to listen, who's going to try to keep an open mind, who what I put out is really important for what I bring in. The other thing is that we need to start paying attention to asking others who have walked before us, to seek guidance, to seek wisdom. Now, many of us, we are, as we know, 50 plus and fabulous. And so we have walked a lot of paths. We have walked a lot of miles. And I would offer there's still others who have walked more. And we need to tap into each other as resources, as people we can ask questions of to get information from. I think one of the most underused resources we have is those who have walked before. And I think we need to start really seeing the benefits and asking people who are of a certain age to tap into that wisdom and to not be afraid to not have the answers. For me, I have found some of the best ways of living through the wisdom of women who have walked before me, and talking to them and seeking out their experiences and asking them for guidance. It really has come back to me twofold, and I really felt filled up in that way. And that's a challenge I have for you, is to seek out others who have walked before you or who could be a mentor. And perhaps even as I'm talking to you in this video, you might even be considering to be a mentor, to offer your wisdom and input. Because remember, what we put out there is what's coming back, and we want to be really thoughtful about what it is we're putting out. And that's why I say seek the wisdom of those who've been there before. I also think that one of the things that we have to start doing is begin from a place of I can. That when we put that out there, that when we start to practice and work and start each day with I can do this, regardless of all the things that we're experiencing or facing, whether that's health issues, financial. I honestly, I don't know all the lists of things to put in there because there's a lot, and I know that. There have been days where I've been tested to the core of my very being. And I had to remind myself to wake up and say, I can and I will get through this day. It may not be easy, and it may take a few tears, and I may need to reach out to some other people, but I'm going to get through this day, and I'm going to give it my best shot. And I want you to have that same feeling. I want you to experience the feeling of I can and I will. So if you turn in the workbook now to the page that's listed of Power of Attraction, there's a few questions in there that might help to get us centered. The first one is, when claiming your desire, pay attention to the words you use. Are you comfortable proclaiming your desire and believing you deserve it? That's huge. You have to have a belief that you deserve what it is that you're seeking. If no one else, you got to be the person you rely on. And I've seen magic happen when strong women, and maybe not 100% strong, but very strong women, will be dedicated to creating what it is that they set out to do, in spite of all the obstacles placed in front of them, including maybe some self doubt at times, because that creeps up. We're all human. We might have a little bit of self doubt. What gets in the way of believing you desire or excuse me, you deserve? What gets in the way? List out a few of those things. And what are some action steps to take both personally and professionally to manifest your desires? What are some of those things you can begin to do? You could even begin to do them today as you're listening to this. And what first steps are needed? Do you need to post them around the house? Do you need to tell a few friends? Do you need to start writing up an action plan? Do you need to seek the wisdom and guidance of someone who has walked before you in this path? And lastly, what commitment are you willing to make? And are you willing to make it? Why or why not? So, in closing, I just want to say that I think you got this. I do. I think you really are capable and you really can do what you set your mind to. And I also believe that you can bring positivity to this world just simply by offering your smile. So, until next time, we'll see you later, and to celebrate you.